My name is Jordan Richards. I am the chairman of Juniper Performing Arts Foundation.
My name is Rachel Judge, and I am the treasurer of Juniper Performing Arts Foundation. And we got kicked off last summer in August and officially became a nonprofit here in the Four Corners region.
Yeah, officially 501c3 as of earlier this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was exciting.
It was really exciting.
It was a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, and for a volunteer board,
Yeah.
right? People who
Yeah.
are doing this just coming together because they're passionate about it.
Yep.
Lots of details.
Yeah, it was good. So I guess let's talk about why we're here. What are we doing? Why
We
talking
are
to people?
starting a podcast.
Yeah, that's crazy. Why are we doing that?
We're starting a podcast because we have a lot of important things to
We
say
do.
with a lot of important people. Any of the artists here, I think in Farmington and the Four Corners region, that there's so many people who are really trying to get their voice out. They
Mhm.
are doing amazing things. And so we want to just connect them with the conversations around those performances, the shows, any of the content that they're creating, any of their opportunities to support them,
Yeah.
and just make sure that we're talking about it.
Yeah. I mean, we have 2 leather chairs in a basement, so
Yep.
why not?
Well, we now
Uh,
have 2 leather chairs in
yeah,
a basement.
as of
They're new as
yesterday.
well.
Well, they're new to us.
They are new to us. Yeah.
They're the vintage.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's got
I
a
do
good
too.
feel to
It's
it.
a comfy
It's
chair.
good
They're both comfy.
lumbar support.
Yeah. So I think it's obviously there's lots of different ways to talk about the various arts that are happening in our community, and we have such a strong artistic foundation in Farmington and San Juan County. And I think the goal of this, right, is to let everybody know about
Yeah.
that. I think there is a group of people in Farmington that know, but we want a bigger. And so that's kind of why we're doing this.
Yeah, definitely.
To try to expand that reach. We have some amazing performances that happen in this community. We have a local musical theater company that's getting ready to open Greece very
Yes.
soon.
So
That's exciting.
excited.
So hopefully we'll get some of those actors in here and we can talk to them. We also have just a thriving art district. In fact, we are now an art district.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So the city did a lot of work, and Farmington is now, I don't remember which, it's like, I think there's 9 or 10 other art districts in the
Okay.
state of New Mexico, which is really cool because it actually gives the ability for specific funding.
Sure.
So there's state funding out there that we can now take a part of because we have that art district designation. And I mean, if you ever go downtown, you can tell.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, there's so many cool things.
There are a ton of cool things. And I think that, like you said, there's a small group of people who are in the know about everything. They're at every performance, they're at every jazz thing in the park. They are trying to be everywhere all at once because there's so many amazing things. And there's nothing more frustrating than finding out about something after the fact. And so
Yes.
I think making sure that we're getting well ahead of it, driving that excitement, really pointing people in the right direction and helping them plan and financially support whatever the situation might be, just be able to enjoy it and help sustain that. I think some of the youth programming is really exciting to see. I think when I talk to kids these days, kids are less and less playing musical instruments, but it's still out there. And so we just want to be able to like make sure that those things, being part of theater programs, being part of learning to play an instrument, learning to sing, learning any sort of arts
Absolutely.
is amazing.
Absolutely. Growing up, I was always an orchestra nerd.
Yeah, we've
discussed.
Yeah, samesies.
Yeah. Cello, right?
Yep, cello.
Viola, smaller cello sits on your shoulder, less well known. But when I moved here, I grew up in Mesa, Arizona, and when I moved here, I moved to Bloomfield, and there wasn't really an orchestra program, and so I kind of delved into performing arts, or uh, more specifically drama,
Sure.
which I never would have done at the high school I was at. I never would have done it. But I came here, and Sean Kidd, for those of you, if you know, you know, he had an incredible program in Bloomfield, and I got to play an elephant that sits on an egg.
Okay.
I was Horton, and I got to play the Beast in Beauty and the Beast, and I got to do things I never would have done before, and that I think every kid needs that opportunity because it just teaches you so many things, and that's really one of the biggest reasons that we started Juniper,
Sure.
is to support those youth, or those youth programs. We have the Heather McGoy program, um, and then we just want to build that. We want more kids to have access to that.
Yeah, I think that that's so important. And you talked about Heather McGoy. Our first year, we had some really high ambitious goals
Yeah, we
that
did.
we came out the gate. We were like, we're not going to let anything intimidate us. We're just going to try and let's dream big.
Also, we kind of crushed it.
I think we did. We did crush it. We were able to support the funding for the
Yeah.
Charlie Brown Christmas performance,
Hmm.
which is part of the Heather McGoy program. So it's a youth performance.
Yep.
And we were able to the reason that that was so critical, and we've talked about this, the city is so supportive
Yes.
of performing arts in the area, specifically the Heather McGoy program, which has a long standing history here and lots of avid supporters
Yep.
through ticket purchases, through
Hmm.
supporting the kids that are growing up through these programs. But one of the things that we were able to do is funding that show allowed the profits to go back into the Heather McGoy funding so
Yep.
that we can expand on those youth programs. And we're really excited about what we're going to be able to do long term and with that. But we were able to raise all of the funds for that.
Yeah.
I'm so well supported, and I think people were really excited. There was a buzz for sure,
Absolutely.
and people were anxious to hear what was coming next. So
Mhm.
hopefully they're thrilled to know that they're going to be hearing from us more frequently. And I think just really passionate about the opportunity to serve, volunteer, support, all
Yeah.
of those things.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. And I mean, that's a perfect, like, that's what Juniper is, right? We're not. It's We focused on the youth programs initially, honestly, because those are kind of low hanging fruit, right?
sure.
It was a
Yeah,
big lift, but it was kind of the easiest one to tackle right away.
sure.
Um, but then, as we continue to grow, our goal is to be sort of that connective tissue. I think Gina described us as that at one point. Gina's another board member. You'll meet her soon. Um, I don't remember. It was you guys were on a podcast and talking about that,
We
right? And I don't
did.
remember if it was you or Gina that described us
It would not have been me.
as, I think it was connective tissue. I really liked that because that's what we're trying to be, is just that group that brings the various things that are going on around the community together. And so, like, we have a website that we post everybody's calendar. Shira does a great job at keeping that updated, and um, it's that's the goal of Juniper. And then as we continue to do that, fundraise, and we bring in other events that people want to see, and just continue to support those things, or however whatever that looks like.
Well, and I think it's been fun for us as a board too
Yeah.
to say, hey, we're going to go to this Caliente event and
Yeah.
go as a board and buy a table and go support them and see the performance, pick the high school shows,
Yep.
which night are we going to go to? And it's been a connecting event, a catalyst for us as well of
Yeah.
just being able to really figure out how are we showing up well too and what we're asking people to do and modeling good behavior.
Yep. I think that was something, when I started talking about establishing a performing arts foundation. There Obviously this is not a new idea. We'd had this in the community before, but those organizations, have gone through their lifespan, and so there was a gap. And I started talking to people, and that was something when I started recruiting people for this board was really a top priority for me. Was we need self-motivated,
Sure.
or very motivated self-starters, I should say, and we have an entire board. We're a small but mighty board, and everybody has their own thing that they're very passionate about, and they, we just go do it. Charlie Brown is a perfect example of that. I think we started, when did we start talking about that? We started in August, maybe even later than that.
Maybe later than
It was
that.
maybe later.
It was for sure later
And we were
than
like,
that.
hey, we're gonna do this by November. And we did.
We
So
did.
it was certainly not alone. We had a lot of support. Um, we got invited to showcase on Dustin, and that was huge for us, the
That
Christmas
was
event.
yes.
So a big thank you to all the organizers for showcase on Dustin.
Yeah, and if that was even a neat experience. I had been
Yeah.
to a couple of those in the past, but they always pick a beneficiary of the concert,
Hmm.
and it's a local nonprofit, and they have a performance that's already happening, and they're not looking to gain anything. They want to connect the audience with what's happening locally.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really amazing opportunity. People were excited to hear our mission. We got to share about our nonprofit, and
Yeah.
the ticket sales went to us. People were able to make donations. People were able to follow up with us afterwards
Yep.
via email, our website. And it was really just a really awesome connecting opportunity for us with the community.
And it was an amazing concert.
I know I wasn't there.
Ah, oh, that's right. You did. You were.
You sent us videos,
It was so good.
but
It was so good.
yes, I was on a bus somewhere during swimming
You were.
season.
That's right. It was so good season. Yeah, it was amazing. And so getting to be a part of stuff like that is just
Well, and we talked about becoming a nonprofit and all of the things that were there, and we had a sponsor.
good.
So, Four Corners was
Yes.
able to be our fiscal agent,
Yeah.
is the technical term for
Right.
it.
Right.
But they had to take a chance on us as well
Mhm.
and be able to. And I know you're a part of that. Haley's a part of that.
Yep.
And so that was a really amazing thing. We didn't have to lose steam in the fall. We were able to be a little bolder. We weren't really afraid of failing. What's the worst thing that could happen? Like
Right.
that we raise some money, but not enough money to do this show. And I think that were really well supported from the
Yeah.
start.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Yeah. That was huge to have Film Four Corners back us up on that. And yeah, that's Devin was a huge support in that. Devin is the chair of there, and that was great. Thank you, Devin.
we
We'll
also
shout
have
him
a
out.
logo that was kind of in
Yes.
part, he was able to contribute to that, but we had such an enormous amount of community submissions. I
Yeah.
was blown away by the amount of people who thought of a logo, drew a logo, developed a concept, submitted things,
Yeah.
and we were able to finally come up with just our Juniper Performing Arts logo and then a font, and
Yep.
everything came together really beautifully.
Yeah.
So,
And it's a beautiful logo. I love our logo. It was created by uh a local actor. I think Victoria does a little bit of everything,
I
right?
think so. Yeah, she's very
I know she's very
creative.
creative. I know she does video editing and audio, acting and singing and all the things. So, really incredible. And then, yeah, like you said, we liked a piece of two different logos, and so we talked to the creators of both, and they let us put them together, and it's a beautiful logo.
Yep, we're gonna
I
throw it
love
on
it.
some t-shirts soon, I think, so that when we're
Absolutely.
out in the community, people can
Yeah.
start to recognize us by that.
Yeah. And it I think the thing that I like about it the most is it really showcases who we are and what we're doing. It gives that, like, just, you when you look at that logo, you understand what we are. And I think that's really important for an organization.
Yeah, it felt established and nostalgic to
Hmm.
me and performative, but also familiar.
Yeah.
And I also really liked the way that it came together. And
Yeah.
so I think all good logos.
Absolutely. That's what I was just gonna say. I don't want to diminish anybody else because we had over 20 submissions.
Yeah.
Um, and they were all great. Every single one of them had real thought put into it. And there was all different mediums. Some were hand drawn, some were put into AI and a computer made it, but that's really cool too. Like
Yeah.
they put the thought and effort into it. And so it was a really interesting, it was kind of a cool experiment for us. Like
Uh,
we had a direction, but we
yeah.
didn't really know where we wanted to go, and so we just let the community do it, and they did great.
Yeah, they did. They did really great. And I thought that one of the coolest things was we asked them to explain their submission to us. And so we wanted to know what it meant to them, why they chose the imagery they chose, why they spent time in certain elements of the design process. And so reading through those submissions was also really touching to be able
Mhm.
to see what it meant to be a part of this community in this specific lens for
Yeah.
performing arts. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was really cool experience.
it was. So what are you most excited about?
I don't know. I mean, there's so many things. I know we have a few things in the pipeline,
We do.
and I'm really excited about those things. I'm a little hesitant to tease them.
I know I don't want to tease them either because we haven't officially launched
I
anything, but
know, but they're really cool.
they are. They're community driven.
They're community driven.
They're things that don't happen currently.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, this is such a, like, we're just,
Yeah, we're gonna leave you on a cliffhanger.
yeah, we're not going to tell you. But I'm super excited about it, and they're going to be great events. I'm
Coming soon.
really, yeah. Oh yeah, very soon. Definitely coming soon. We don't have the exact dates yet put together, I think. So that's why I don't say
Yeah.
specific. But one is geared very much towards the youth
Hmm.
in the community, and then the other one is just open to everybody. And so they're going to be really great. Some other things that I'm excited with or about is working with that Heather McGoy Academy
Hmm.
and working with the city and really expanding the curriculum. And that's something that I do feel comfortable talking about because it's not going to happen right now.
Sure.
It's not happening this year, but we are working towards that. We've got some really great community partners, not just our, uh, like not just within our organization, but we've got like actors that come in from out of town who are willing to help us. Millie is a
Yeah.
great example of that. She's amazing, and she's given us a ton of ideas, and she's willing to help us with all this stuff. So growing that program is something I'm really excited.
Yeah. And I think one thing that you talk with the academy, you have kids
Yes,
and
you can
what
probably hear them.
maybe Haley's doing a great job of making sure we're all mic'd
I
properly,
was just
but
thinking we need to make sure we introduce Haley before we finish this.
yes,
She's not going to do it.
I will give up my seat and you can come and introduce yourself here as we end. But what for our listeners that are unfamiliar with the
Uh-huh.
Heather McGoy Academy, what
Yes.
is your experience with that? How have you seen that grow over time?
Yeah.
And how do you think that we'll be able to kind of annex that, add to it? Because we're
Mhm.
certainly not replacing it.
No, not at all.
We're just going to help, hopefully, have that grow and continue to thrive here.
Yeah. So Heather McGoy has been in existence for almost 30 years, I think, or at least 20. Is it 20 years? Um, that's right. It was 2005. So 20 years. She was an actress who traveled to Farmington to perform and unfortunately lost her life in a car accident. And so her family has they created a foundation, and her passion was performing arts for youth. And so she in her memory they helped grow that in our community. And so I think that that program has really been a lot of things over time. And it's kind of done, it's kind of waxed and waned as it go throughout its life cycle. But I think that we're getting into a growth period for it. And so, it's kind of the last few years, the city's done a great job at having these academies where kids get to learn all kinds of things. Whether it's just learning how to have stage presence,
Yeah.
or I mean, they had a fencing class last year. That's cool,
That is
right?
super cool.
um, so they've kind of grown that, and I think that the way we now step in there is that we can reach out to our community partners, fundraise specifically for that program, and ideally, or I shouldn't say ideally, my goal for that program is that eventually we have a curriculum that if somebody starts as a preschooler and they stay with our programs every summer all the way until they graduate, they're ready to hit the stage.
Sure.
And obviously all along the way, right? But they are they're comfortable in that performance space, and it just gives them tons of experience that probably would be a little difficult in our community to find without something. So,
Yeah, and not just the stage presence, but the technical skills,
yeah.
the all of the writing, all of the
Yeah,
different things that can go into that, from various angles. And um, there's not always an expert for that. So sometimes it's bringing somebody in
right.
to who can own that curriculum and develop it and come back year over year. And so I think that it's really exciting to think about what's possible.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the technical skills because, obviously we
Mm,
focus on the kids on stage, right? I was the kid on stage, so it's hard for me to not
mm,
focus on. But like you can't tell me that there is an art involved in running a slider board with 30 mics
sure.
and having that dialed in.
Yeah.
Being a spot on spot operator is a talent that you really have to grow. Like it's not just pointing a flashlight.
Sure.
So um that all of that is encompassed in these academy programs. And so I think that that's a really exciting thing that I'm I'm ready to see happen.
Yeah. I think one of the things I'm most excited about now that we're established, we're kind of gaining a little bit of financial runway,
Mhm.
is applying for grants in the state of New Mexico. There's so many opportunities to really lean into
Yeah,
the financial backing. There's funds available. And so having a vessel to bring that here and to utilize those funds and to get people with that as their expertise, right? Certainly we are a small and mighty board, but there are community members who have been really active and willing to, when we were ready, to lean in. And so I'm excited to see where that heads and how we're able to take advantage of funding that's out there and ready for us to apply
yeah,
for.
yeah,
An eager recipient for. We're really hopeful that we're going to be able to finally just have a little bit wider impact with resources that are outside of this community.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, there are tons available. It's kind of crazy how much money is
Yeah, but I
available.
mean, you mentioned like being an arts
Mhm.
sector. What are we? What is
An
it?
arts
An
district.
arts district. I
Yes.
mean, so when you think of the Southwest, if you're not from here, I was just recently on the East Coast and they said, "Well, where in New Mexico do you live?" And I said, "I live in the northwest corner." And they were like, "Well, I've been to Santa Fe once." And I
Sure.
said, "Well, you probably were in Albuquerque once if you went to Santa Fe. I don't know that you flew in there." But they were like, "It looks just like the movies,
Yeah.
it looks exactly as it's depicted." And I think that people have a romanticized like vision of what is here.
Right.
And I think that that ends up in performance art. And
Yeah.
I think that it's really impactful, just the taking for granted where we live and
Mhm.
just the beauty that we're surrounded with
Absolutely.
and everything that I don't know, it's just really cool to be a
Yeah.
part of.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is romanticized for very good reason, right?
Sure.
Like you're never gonna find a New Mexico sunset anywhere else.
No.
It's fantastic. And
The land of enchantment.
sure.
And I think I've lived in southern New Mexico, now northern New Mexico, and really it's so diverse. And Carlsbad Caverns, I think when
Mhm.
you think about the landscape and how different it is depending on where you are, um, rivers, lakes, mountains,
Yeah.
the Gila,
Hmm.
white sands. It's really just stunning to think about. And I think about that a lot of how much the environment and the landscape influences art.
Yeah.
And you can see that. And it's so distinct. Shiprock.
Oh yeah.
I think there's just, I mean, like a visual medium from any sort of backdrop, any
Hmm.
sort of art that's being created. The Southwest has like a real pull on people's hearts.
Yeah. Well, not just the Southwest, but like Farmington, or I should say San Juan County
Sure.
specifically. Like you mentioned, I'm on the board for Film Four Corners. And one of the favorite things that I love to tell people when they're talking about like, okay, well, we have film festivals and filmmakers come in and they're like, well, what does this area look like? I'm like, you can literally go from the Swiss Alps in, Cedar Hill, Durango, that area, and then drive an hour south and west and be on Mars.
Sure.
Like you have such a wide variety of landscapes, and you're right, that really lends itself to all kinds of performance arts, which I qualify film as,
Sure.
right? Um, but there's so many things that can be done in this environment, this community. Uh, It just it's a really great space.
Yeah. You mentioned Greece earlier, which when I moved here, I was so excited that Sandstone, this
Hmm.
outdoor performing theater area,
Yeah.
was part of this programming, and that every year there's a show out there, and you've been in shows out there.
I have.
And I think that when you go, there's not that many outdoor performance
No.
stages. And I think that it's so beautiful watching the sunset there, watching
Hmm.
Greece, being at Rydell High. Like I'm
Right.
really excited for that show specifically this summer. I think it's going to be a lot of fun and be able to be out there and just enjoy the weather. I
Yeah,
know that the weather can be unpredictable and
it
throw some
can.
curveballs for
It's supposed to
the
be a good
stage
monsoon
person. Yeah.
season.
It's always a good monsoon season, but I do think that it's just an experience. It's
Yeah,
more than just a show. It's more than just going and buying a ticket. It's like immersing in this local performance, and so
absolutely.
I think that that's going to be really neat.
All right, so I think we're ready to wrap up.
I think so.
Okay. Let's kind of bookend some things.
Okay,
We covered a lot.
we did cover a lot.
We
Let's
just
start at the
rambled a
beginning.
lot.
We are Juniper Performing Arts Foundation.
That is us.
We started in August of last year, so we
Mhm.
are coming up on a year anniversary of
Yeah.
like our kickoff. And people can find us on our website,
Website, Facebook, Instagram.
Instagram, our podcast presence.
Yes.
We want you to continue listening.
Yeah.
And so this is the first one. We're going to be doing this, and we hope that you join us, listen in, share, let us know if you'd like to be on the
Yeah.
podcast.
So if you want to join us, if you have some art that you want to talk about or just ideas that you want to get out in the community, email us info@juniperpaf.com. And we'd love to talk to people other than just us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We've got a pretty decent lineup, and we've got enough of us that we're going to keep coming to you. But
Yeah. We'll keep the content
um
rolling.
so we are started. We've got the podcast. They know how to find us. They know how to reach us. Our favorite things, stay tuned for our summer programming the next
Yes.
quarter, pretty
Yep.
much. There's going to be some local shows that we're going to be plugging, but there's going to be some net new things that we're really excited for the community to partake in.
Absolutely.
And what else? What else do we talk about?
Um,
Mhm.
I think the biggest thing, we need funding. So
That is
we're
true.
always fundraising. So if you are looking to donate to help support performance arts in your community, we are the vessel for that. So
Yeah.
let
And I
us
was
reach out to us.
Yeah, I was really hopeful and excited about grants and grant applications, but there's nothing promised. And
Sure.
our
Yeah.
community has been very supportive in that initial excitement, but we don't want any of that to dwindle. And so
Yeah.
every dollar counts, every hour of volunteer opportunities. There's always things to do in the community. We want to connect you to those opportunities
Yeah.
and be that connective tissue that Gina was talking about.
Exactly.
And so I think whether you have money to give or time
Yep.
to donate,
Put you to work.
we will connect you with the right opportunities and make sure that we are continuing to grow, support,
Yeah.
and allow these things to continue to flourish. So,
And I think that's just another good opportunity for us to mention that we are a volunteer board. We don't have any administrative costs really, beyond like the required insurance and stuff like that that goes with being a 501c3. So when you donate, your donation is going right back into these programs.
yeah.
It's not, you know, we're not squirreling it away somewhere or anything like that. So yes, monetary donations, time donations, all those things are very important to programs like ours, and the ones that we support. So please reach out to us. Again, you can reach us at that info@juniperpaf.com. I think one more thing just to wrap this up is I don't know what we're going to post the name as, but if you have an idea for a name, throw it out to us, because we're probably just going to put like a Juniper podcast or something weird. So yeah.
I believe in us. I think we could get there, but we would certainly take the help. And so,
Yeah, we're good, but the community is also they're better.
the
So
community is outstanding. And so, yes, that's a really great place to land is we need a name.
we do.
We are accepting podcast sponsors. So
Yes,
if you're looking to
absolutely.
get the name of your business out there, we will take that as a financial donation that will
Yeah,
go right back
absolutely.
into the programming, and we will be able to chat with you here or chat about you, and at least thank you for your contributions.
Yeah.
So we hope to that you join us again in
Yeah.
the future. And again, thanks to Haley. Haley was putting this all together.
She
And
refuses to
I
speak.
know we invited her in. She said no.
I know.
So
Someday we'll get her on this side of the camera.
yeah, I'm afraid to try and high five you again because I feel like I'm going to move too much. But
I think
I
the
think we're
key
good.
is the pinkies, right?
I think the
You look at each
elbows. You look
other's.
at.
Is that all right? That's
Yeah.
okay.
We'll catch you next time.
A reminder of a few upcoming events. Inspire Dance Academy presents Toy Story Saturday, May 30th at 6 p.m. and Sunday, May 31st at 3 p.m. at the Henderson Fine Arts Center. San Juan Symphony presents Life and Works American Mavericks June 4th at the Connie Gotch Theater at 7 p.m. Film Four Corners is having a movie night on June 5th at the Chota Theater beginning at 6 p.m. Four Corners Musical Theater presents Grease June 11th through July 12th at Lions Wilderness Amphitheater. Zia Chick's next concert will be in the Pavilion for Grease on opening night, June 11th, starting at 7 p.m. Caliente Community Choir presents Cul-de-sac Concert on July 22nd on Echo Lane off Glade Drive. Theater Ensemble Arts presents Dracula, a comedy of terrors on September 25th, 26th, and October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Thank you for listening. This has been a Juniper Performing Arts Foundation production. To contact us, please email info@juniperpaf.com. A special thank you to our sponsors, Unsicker Law and Industrial Data Management. If you would like to sponsor this podcast, please email us.